The men in the village were known for their great strength. They routinely won the athletic contests held throughout Switzerland, and the women were known for their great beauty from this particular village. When he talked to the health officials in Switzerland, he learned from them that there had never been a case of tuberculosis in these few isolated Swiss villages. And this was a time when tuberculosis was a huge problem in the rest of Switzerland. It was the #1 killer, not only in Switzerland, but throughout Europe. But these people seem to be completely immune to tuberculosis. So here we are in the Swiss village, the first place that he visited, with his first question: could he find a healthy population? And he's answered this question with a yes. He's found a population with excellent dental health, from all he can determine, excellent overall health. So we go now to the next question. What were these people eating? The #1 source of calories in the Swiss village was the very food accused of causing tuberculosis in the rest of the world. It was raw milk. These people kept cattle and goats, grazed on the lush green pasture beneath the melting glaciers, and the chief source of calories in the diet was raw milk, and then raw cheese, raw butter, and raw cream. And the other major source of calories was a special type of bread. They grew rye in the short summer season, and they made a very dense sourdough rye bread. And that was the source of calories. It was basically rye bread and raw milk. And I find this very interesting because one of the theories that we have out there about why we have so many health problems today is because we're eating these two foods that are new to the human diet: dairy foods and grains. There are a number of writers who say to be healthy, you need to avoid dairy foods and grains. And yet here was a supremely healthy population whose main source of calories was dairy foods and grains. But the dairy foods they were consuming were very different from the dairy foods that we buy today in the supermarket, and the grains were prepared in a much different way than we prepare our grains today. We'll talk about both of these later on in the seminar. They also did eat meat, usually once a week, usually veal. They ate the whole animal, including the organ meats. The bones were used to make soup. And they grew vegetables in their gardens during the summer and had a few vegetables in the warmer months. But basically, this was a diet based on dairy foods and grains. A typical lunch for the children going to school would be a very thick slice of the dense sourdough rye bread and an equally thick slice of the beautiful raw Swiss cheese.